Have you been experiencing a loss de joie de vivre since the beginning of your menopause? Do you feel that your moments of peace of mind and inner calm are just becoming increasingly rare? Do you feel that your personal and professional relationships are becoming more difficult and less harmonious than they used to be? So, like many of you, I've experienced a workplace with over 60% of my colleagues were women. In addition, 100% of us were between the age of 40 and 65, which means all of us in potential premenopause, menopause, perimenopause, menopause festival. Help, help. Despite all my knowledge on the subject, this situation still had an impact on my ability to maintain a positive attitude and finally to simply feel like I was going to work or not going to work. So let's not fool ourselves. Here, my work ethic and my financial obligation and so on made me swallow my pill and put up with it. And others put up with me as well. I'm sure I'm not the only one that this very situation had become unbearable. So we spend over 30% of our time during the week at our workplace. So not counting the commute time that we do, obviously. So the fact are also that 70% of women experience normal menopause symptoms. That being said, let's say that we have 10 people in an office. 7 of them are women. So from the 7, 5 of them are experiencing menopausal symptoms in my workplace. Let's put it this way. So um, we don't even mention the pressure that comes with your work task and the lack of training of some employees and the lack of qualifications or skills for team leaders to deal with daily challenge and so on. So what do we do with that? There are 3 things I want to talk to you about that you don't normally hear about with regards to menopause. Okay. The number one thing is premenopause is often misdiagnosed for depression. This diagnosis often leads to prescription of antidepressant, which also have a tendency to have many side effects. One of those known side effects is more appetite, so weight gain. Menopause symptoms or side effect is also weight gain. So which one comes first? That's a good question. So if you want to hear all about menopause and weight gain, I encourage you to watch my blog. So let's get back to quality of life. This situation, as I said, it's which comes first, weight gain or menopause or depression and so on. So individually, we treat the symptoms, but we fail to look at the link between them. There are 3 categories of symptoms to me: psychologic, metabolic, and physiologic. Psychologic means anxiety, memory loss, loss of self-esteem. Morphological symptoms are, to me, what leads to physical changes, like weight gain and skeleton fragility and loss of muscle mass and joint pain and blah, blah, blah. And metabolic symptoms are slower digestion, inflammation, acne, unfortunately. So I give you an example of chain reaction of more than one symptom. So you go to bed and you have difficulty falling asleep. You finally fall asleep. You wake up, you think, well, I'm awake. I might as well go to the bathroom, even if I don't need to. So you go to the bathroom, you come back to bed. Now you can't go back to sleep and you think, okay, that's it. I have anxiety. The next day you wake up, you're exhausted. You go to work, you forget stuff. You begin to doubt yourself as to whether you still have the capacity to do your work. That is so important. There's also the another chain reaction, constipation and toxicity and chronic fatigue and etc. etc. So we tend to think that only women suffer these side effects of menopause, but the hormonal change has an effect not only on women, but your spouse, your children, your friends, your colleague, and so on. So women often feel isolated. They feel a bit rushed by the medical system, and they have sometimes questions that don't get answered, and they need to have explanation about treatment options that they have, because there are good ones as well. So let's stay positive. So I'm going to give you 3 suggestions to help you reduce the impact of menopause on your quality of life. The first one, the workplace. Discussions around solutions or mediation are important and must take place. Business leaders have a responsibility to ensure the well-being of their employees. So it would be in the interest of everybody, employees and employer, to address this as soon as possible, find solutions and implement them. The same way you would implement pre-established protocol for situations such as an employee who's in distress, psychological distress. Okay, same thing. Find solution and apply them. Second, make a plan to manage several symptoms at the same time, as opposed to treat them individually, as I said before. So chronic sleep deprivation is surely the symptoms that has the greatest impact because of all the symptoms associated to it, okay? Number 3, take a melatonin supplement in combination with personalized eating plan and stress management protocol. All these can help your quality of sleep and eventually quality of life. Managing symptoms by maintaining balance is the key. To manage those symptoms, you have to take into consideration several factors that have an impact. So diet, alcohol consumption, stress, mental state, positive environment, medication, chronic illness, and so on. Okay? By being conscious of those factors and try to implement protocols to help you manage them will have an enormous impact. Rebalancing your hormones also can be a very good idea. So in conclusion, you already know that several options are available to alleviate, premenopausal symptoms, such as HRT, such as acupuncture, such as antidepressant cocktail, and so on. These methods must take into account the other factors I talked to you about. So in my opinion, society doesn't want to see menopause. That's why we have a multitude of instant solutions. Take this pill, magically, your symptoms are gone. Women will even go to the extent of threatening their health to get rid of the symptoms. We want to hide aging and all the physical and cognitive transition, as if aging was automatically becoming dependence. The relationships with menopause and quality of life is simply that it's part of the game. And it will be up to you to determine to what extent you want to maintain a quality of life. All your choices are in your hand, and it all has impact. I'm going to leave you with this simple question. When you have the flu, a real grippe d'homme, we say in French, are you embarrassed because you have symptoms? So if you have any questions or wish to have more personalized information, get in touch with me. My name is Louise Therrien. I'm a naturopath and I coach women into menopause. My mission is to accompany women in their hormonal transition to help them better understand the symptoms of menopause, learn how to manage them so that you can maintain a quality of life, health, and remain productive. I also invite you to watch other videos I've made that might be of interest to you. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you a great day.